my loves, and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten, and today we are doing the Relax and Readathon vlog. I'm so excited for this video. I really need this day of just relaxing, reading, doing some of my favourite cozy hobbies. I am so excited. This is so needed. I have been eagerly anticipating this day. If you don't know what the Relax and Readathon is, it is a bi-monthly readathon that I host that is literally just around relaxing and reading, doing a little bit of self-care day basically. I do this over 24 hours. I pick the Saturday that I'm not working in the month to relax and do this on a bi-monthly basis. However, some people will turn this into a weekend log thing or even sometimes a week. We do have a Discord channel where you get live updates of what I'm doing and also what everybody else is up to. It's really good. I love how people join in, show off what they're doing for the day, the different things they're reading, the different things they're doing. I love it. It's so good. It's so lovely over there. So if you ever want to join in, it's always free to join in. And we do have a bingo board. Now this is the last time the bingo board's going to be used. I did have a poll on Discord, I think was it last month? It might have been last month, where I was like, I feel like we need to revamp. We've been doing this style for about 2 years now and I feel like it's time to change it up. We've had loads of ideas, so thank you so much. And we did have a poll on what we wanted to do, whether we wanted to keep it as a bingo board or go for something new. So next month you're going to get the announcement video of the new way of doing the Relax and Readathon, and I'm so excited for it. It's still going to be a mixture of lifestyle prompts and reading prompts. It's just going to change up how it looks and everything, so it's no longer going to be a bingo board. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm hoping that everybody likes the change. Again, that's all coming in an announcement video soon, but for this month it's the last time for this bingo board. There is a mixture. We get 4 reading prompts and 4 lifestyle prompts. You can combine them in any way that you want to. With the reading prompts, I am combining them all. Okay, well, not all of them, 3 of them into the one book, which I'm so excited for this book. This is also the Discord book club pick for the month, so if you're ever interested, I do have a monthly book club, again, over at Discord, all free to join. And this time, Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales is the one that won, and I am so excited. I love this series. It's one of my favourite cozy, comforting series. We're following Emily, and she is a professor of fairies and folklore, which I love. I love that we're in this kind of like alternate reality where it's historical set and fairies and folklore are a part of the world. I love it. I love that we have this whole bit where we are a professor. Or well, Emily's a professor, and I think it's amazing. Anyway, moving on. Emily is creating the world's first encyclopedia of fairies in the first book, and she goes to this remote location to get the last entry that she needs for her encyclopedia. However, she's really not good with people, and she's in this very small village, and she's kind of struggling to do what she needs to do, get the information and things, because she's really bad at interacting with people. Enter Wendell Bembleby, who is kind of like a rival professor in a way, and he is a charmer. He's able to sweet talk his way into the village, just get everything that he needs. And Emily's a bit like, excuse me, this is my expedition, what are you doing here? It's lovely. I love their romance, I love their story, I love the interaction with the fairies, because it's based on actual like fairy folklore, so I think it's done so well. Like, I really adore the way it's done in here, and I like the way it's progressed. The second book, so completely different. We get more of a focus at the start of it in the actual university where Emily works, and then we go more into the actual fairy world, which I really like. I'm so intrigued to see where this book's going to go and also how the series is going to wrap up. I'm kind of sad to see it ending though, because I love these characters. I know this is a series I'm definitely going to come back to and reread, and it's just, I love it. I'm so excited. I'm expecting this to be on my top books of the year. I'm so excited for this. This one, as I did say, it does count for 3 of the reading prompts, which is a book on my TBR, a book I've been wanting to read for a while, and also continuing a series, although you can change that prompt to just a book you're in the middle of if you're a standalone reader. You start a book, you carry on reading it, you've ticked it off, sort of thing. The other prompt that it's not fulfilling is a short book. Now, a short book is relative to yourself. If you're somebody that mainly reads a 500-page book and this is only 350 pages, well, that could be short to you. However, I have kind of fallen out of the habit of reading my big books. It's something I'm going to be changing this year. 350 pages is kind of like an average size book for me. So for that one, I did originally say that I was going to read a manga volume, which would be short for me. However, I do have the Midwinter Murders short story collection, which I did want to finish by the end of February. I haven't. I've still got quite a few to go, so I might end up reading just a short story from here to break up the reading day. We'll see, but that would count as a little short story for me as well. And to be fair, would count for all the other prompts if you wanted to do it that way. So like, just an example on how this readathon works and how it's really easy and you just do what you want with it is, this is a book on my TBR. I've been meaning to read this for a while because it's on my winter TBR as well, and I'm meaning to finish it. It is something that I'm in the middle of, so I'll be continuing to read it, and they are all short stories. So technically that book could work for every single thing. So if I decided I didn't want to have a big reading day, I could literally read one short story and it would tick off all the reading prompts in one go. This is what I mean. I've tried keeping it as flexible as possible so you can do what you want with it. My day, I'm really planned in. I've got some baking that I'm doing. I've got Animal Crossing I want to play. It's why we have a square on the board for cozy hobby. So if all you decide to do is read, great, that's a cozy hobby. However, it gives you the opportunity to do other things, playing a cozy game, doing baking, doing some artsy crafts thing, like whatever you want to do, it's then left to you so you can break up your day and not feel guilty about the fact that you're not reading. The other lifestyle prompts are really simple. We've got have a hot beverage or just a drink of choice, and then we've got like light a candle, play some music, basically set the ambiance for yourself, the cozy hobby one, and then we have going outside. Going outside's not happening. I'm not doing it today. It is cold. I have been out of the house for the last 8 days, every single day. I want a chill, relaxing day in, so I'm not leaving the house. I'm not doing that one. But yeah, so that's the bingo board. Those are the plans for today. I have actually already started the baking because I am making some lemon shortbread, and the lemon shortbread dough has to sit in the fridge for at least 3 hours. It says 3 hours or up to 2 days. So I'm probably gonna leave it in there for like 4 hours. Before I start this update, I spent my morning making the dough for the shortbread. Kind of nervous. I haven't made shortbread before. I'm hoping it turns out okay. I've done gingerbread and I really liked that, so I'm hoping I like the lemon shortbread. We'll see. But yeah, so because I realized, oh, this has got to sit in the fridge for a while, I thought, let me get that done first. I can update. You can get the B-roll next and we can go from there. And hopefully after lunchtime, that will all be ready. I'm so excited. I'm hoping it comes out well. We'll see. But yeah, that's it. That is literally the plans for today. I hope you enjoy this video. I hope if you took part that you had a really relaxing time, and thank you to everyone that does take part and chats in Discord and stuff. It is so much fun. I really, really enjoy it. So thank you, thank you. But yeah, that's it for the start of this video. I think I'm going to, well, I need to tidy up the kitchen because it's an absolute mess. And then I'm going to settle in with a hot drink and start Emily Wilde. I'm so excited, like genuinely so excited for this book. I'm not going to go into too much about what is going on in this book because it is the third and final book in a series. I just think it is such a gorgeous book. It is done, did I mention it's done in journal entry format? So it looks like we're starting on the 29th of December 1910. Ooh, I'm so excited. So yeah, this is probably one of my favourite series that I've picked up in recent years. Like, I love this so much. It's what sparked my love of cozy books, which is crazy really, because now my whole channel is kind of known for cozy books, cozy vlog. That's kind of the whole vibe of this channel, and it all kind of sparked off because of Emily Wilde, which is honestly absolutely wild to think about, which hilarious, Emily Wilde wild. Anyway, it is kind of crazy to think about, but I genuinely love it, and cozy books is something I have not got bored of, and I just think they're wonderful. Like, it's so nice to be able to relax and pick up something that is just so low stakes and easy and magical and whimsical, and I love it. Okay, right, I am just waffling on. Let's go and tidy that kitchen. I really don't want to, hence the procrastination, but we're gonna go tidy the kitchen. I'm gonna check in when I've made some progress with Emily Wilde. I think it's gonna be such a wonderful day. I really, really have high hopes for how relaxing this day is gonna be, so. It's been a few hours and I've just chilled. It's been really nice. I did the tidying up and I watched a little bit of YouTube and I have read some of Emily Wilde's, which honestly I love this green. Isn't this gorgeous? So stunning. I love this green. That is gorgeous. But I am up to page 81. We're on the 1st of January and I'm loving this so much. I'm loving being back with the characters, being back in this world. I love just the formatting of it as well, and I'd forgotten about the footnote. I can't believe I forgot that because that's something I actually really love about this, is Emily writing in the footnotes of different things. So like she'll reference different books that she's read, or she'll clarify certain things, and I really like it. I think it's really fun. So yeah, I don't know, I like a book with footnotes. I think when it's done well, the footnotes can be so good and it just adds a little layer to the story, which I really like. I will admit, when I was starting to read this book, it took me a minute to get into it because I haven't read from this series in such a long time. So I read the second book when it came out and haven't reread it since then, and I feel like I should have, because the first book I remember a lot more about that book. I think because it made such an impact on me. It was so different to anything I'd read before. Like I just fell head over heels in love with it. And the second book I did really like, but I don't think I loved it quite as much as the first book. Some of it was a bit of a blur to me in some of the events that happened. Now this book, the way it's done is it takes place very soon after the events of that second book, but also it does talk about different events that happened in that second book, but in a way that is not info dumpy in any way. It just kind of flows naturally, which I think really works. So I really appreciate that. I just feel like I should have reread the second book just to pick up on all those little things, which I am remembering as we go through this book, but I just feel like it would have been a bit easier if I'd reread that second book maybe like 2 months prior or something to picking up this one. That would have worked really well. I know I'm going to reread the whole of this series at some point because I love it so much, so I'm not too bothered, and as I say, it's only like little things which I am remembering as we go on because it is continuing straight on. So you are talking a lot about the big events that happened in that second book. So in this book we're starting straight off in the world of fairy, which is different to the other two books where we start off in the human world before going over into fairy at some point throughout the book. But in this one we're just starting straight off in the world of fairy, and I can't talk about the plot line because obviously that's a big spoiler for what is happening with the series. I feel like the first one, it was a really good intro into the world, into how it all works, into the different fairies and stuff, into meeting Emily and Wendell. So I think that worked really well. The second and third book are more connected to one another. It's about a certain plot line revolving around Wendell that Emily's helping with. As a result, there's a lot that happens. They feel a lot more action-packed, like a lot more going on, especially in this book. The action kind of started straight away, but also at the same time I'm loving this book. Oh, I love being back in this world. I love Emily as a character. She is struggling with certain things because of the after effects of some of the things that she went through in that second book. Like it was a lot. Some of it was really scary. She was really worried about having to deal with certain things, and so when she's now in this world again and she's dealing with that, seeing some of those things, you can see her fear. I think it works. I think it's good to see her struggling with the effects because, again, I mean, I've mentioned it loads of times actually, but I feel like previously fantasy books used to be very quick to disregard the fact that somebody went through all of these horrific things and how you have to get over it and how it's not easy. I feel like now, especially with more modern books, actually acknowledge that, which I think is really good, and that's what we're doing in this book, is we're acknowledging that Emily's been through some really rough stuff that she is having to process and deal with, and certain things are bringing it all back up. So she's struggling a little bit in some aspects, but the relationship between her and Wendell, the way they interact with one another is so good. Also the way she just writes down everything, the way she's constantly studying things, like I really like. We got a little bit of one of the earlier journal entries was her writing down things that Wendell was telling her about different trees and plants and stuff and the snails and all of this. So I really liked those parts of it. It's really fun seeing Shadow and Olga again. Like, oh, I love them. They're absolutely wonderful. Shadow is somebody that you meet in the first book. It's like Shadow is Emily's dog, and you know they're together throughout the whole time, which I love. And then Olga is a cat that you meet in the second book, and again, absolutely love it. And literally it starts off with them, with Emily complaining about how cats are not loyal and they're fickle, and you know, Shadow will just stay with them, and now, you know, we're waiting on Olga and all of this stuff. Like, it's just funny. It's funny seeing the quick, because I'm a cat person and my partner's a dog person, and it's kind of reminiscent of some of the conversations that we've had amongst each other. It's funny. But yeah, I love it. I love the animal companions in this. I love Wendell and Emily. I also am really enjoying the fact that we're back in this world and how ridiculous some of the Fae are. Like, their logic is the most backwards logic, and yet it kind of makes sense. It's hilarious. I absolutely love it. It's reminded me a little bit, because I've read it more recently, is the Wayward Children series. If you've read that series, there are portal worlds there that are nonsense world. It really is the most backwards logic, and yet it kind of makes sense. And it was reminding me of that as I was reading this, and I was just finding it quite funny. Like, some of the things that are going on, it's like 1 minute we're at this like swords out sort of thing, and then the next minute they're sitting down to tea and scones and discussing flowers, and I'm like, it's hilarious. And Emily's like, what is wrong with you guys? Like, what? And she has to remind herself that, yes, you know, this is fairy logic, like, that's just the way it all works. And it's just so fun. Like, I can really just sit there and just continue reading more and more of this book, because it's so easy to read as well. Like, yes, there are lots, especially in this book, there's a lot more action stuff happening. This feels like there's slightly higher stakes. At the same time, it's still feeling like a really cozy read at the same time. I do need to have some lunch though, so I'm going to do some lunch in a minute, and yeah, we'll go on from that. I like the fact that this book is taking place over winter, really, because we're kind of going from December, and I just had a sneak peek that we end up in March. Saying that, the weather in this book is not matching, because again, we're in fairy. But I don't know, it worked. There's something about it that's just really, I'm enjoying reading currently when it's cold and dreary, and I'm getting to just dive into this magical book. Like, oh, I love it. I really, really do enjoy it. So I'm going to continue on with this. I kind of can't decide. I'm like, do I read more of this? Do I sit and play Animal Crossing? I don't know. I actually don't know. It's kind of weird, because I'm like, I've been so busy. The last day that I really like did nothing, as in like no editing and not feeling really ill, is probably the last Readathon day that I had. So it's been 2 months. It feels kind of weird. I feel like, oh, I should be doing something right now. Feeling like, oh, I should be editing, I should be doing this, I should film, I should, you know. And I'm really having to go, no, you don't have to. You can do whatever you want. And then I'm going, but what do I want to do? Now that I'm not having to do work, what do I want to do? I really can't kind of settle. I'm kind of gutted, because I did want, I say I'm kind of gutted, like, it's literally my own fault, but I wanted to get myself one of those colouring books, just chill out and do some colouring and things, but I never got round to getting one. Like, I kept saying to myself, oh yeah, I'll get one. It's fine, I've got time. And then before you know it, it's the day of the Relax and Readathon and I don't have one. I'm definitely going to get one for the next Relax and Readathon. It's definitely something I want to do, because I feel like that would be quite nice to like just have some YouTube on in the background and chill out and do some colouring. I know that's what Ramissa is currently like thinking about doing, and when she put in the message on Discord, I was like, oh yeah, I really wanted to do that too. But at the same time, like, I do kind of just want to play a bit of Animal Crossing. My shortbread dough should be chilled enough by now, but I think I'm going to leave it a little bit longer, maybe like an hour or so after lunch. So maybe do it at like about 2:30ish, and that could be a nice little snack before dinner. I'm doing meatballs for dinner. I actually have the meatball that I've defrosted them with some pasta, so that'll be nice. So yeah, maybe some like lemon shortbread with a cup of tea as like a little like mid-afternoon snack would be nice. So maybe I'm thinking lunch, maybe play a bit of Animal Crossing, then chill out and read with the shortbread and a cup of tea. That sounds quite nice. That sounds like a nice little plan. I am a planner like this. Even on my relaxing days, I still try and give myself a plan, because otherwise I do just kind of sit there and go, I don't know what to do. Decision paralysis, where there's like so many things I could be doing, so many things I've been wanting to do for such a long time. I finally get the time to do it that I'm a bit like overwhelmed with, well, what do I actually do now? It's weird, because if I was allowing myself to edit, I'll be like, oh yeah, well, I'll just get on and do the editing and stuff. And actually giving myself a day from no work at all, like, it's weird. I do kind of be like, oh, but why am I allowed to sit here and do nothing with my day? Like, and it's good, it's important. Anyway, that was a really weird waffle. I'm literally just rambling on. Do I just read another chapter of Emily Wilde before I go to Animal Crossing? But I also know I'm not going to play it for long, because I'm still in the early stages of it all, and so there's not like loads for me to do currently on the island, which is fine. Like, it will pass a nice like half hour of time, so maybe I'll just do that for a little bit. It's just a very chill day, I think, because I'm in the mood to do some like colouring and stuff, and I don't have anything to do the colouring with. Kind of in the mood for that. And you know what, I could just draw a picture and do it that way, but I kind of don't want to draw, I just want to colour. So I think that's why I'm like, I don't know what because I know what I want to do, I don't have the means to do it, so I'm like, oh, actually, scrap that idea, because yes, I could do the colouring, but what I could do is work on the new board for the new Relax and Readathon, because I feel like doing something. I want to be a little bit creative, and while technically working on the Relax and Readathon, the new board for that, would technically be classed as work because it is for YouTube, it's also creative, and I feel like I want to be a bit creative in making that board. So yeah, okay, maybe I'll do that. I think I'll do that, give myself a break, then do some reading, and then maybe play Animal Crossing in the evening when I'm getting tired. Yeah, okay. Well, thanks for listening to my random rambles while I make up my mind what I actually wanted to do. If you have any suggestions for like colouring books and things, then do let me know in the comments below, because I have one saved on my wish list, but I would be interested in looking up more, because the one I've got saved is a little bit more intricate, and so having ones, I know there's like these, I don't know what they're called, like the fuzzy ones? I think they're the fuzzy ones that are really popular at the minute, and I'm like, I don't know whether that's too simplistic or not. I don't know. You'll have to let me know what you like and what you use, and also what do you colour with. Like, I was thinking I've got loads of paints so I could paint it, but I don't know if the paper would be strong enough for that, or whether you would recommend actually just using like markers and things, so I'd have to get some. Like, I'm curious to know. But okay, right, I'm genuinely gonna stop waffling, I'm gonna have some lunch, and then I think I'm gonna work on that game board. I think that would be really good to do, just to, I can't decide if I'm doing it in Canva, but I think that would be helpful just to get the game board design, because we are doing a game board, so there's lots of changes and stuff. If you're already part of Discord, you already know, because it's in the Discord chat, and again, we had the poll and everything, and if you don't know, then I guess you're gonna find out and see. You might see like a little snippet of me doing little things, but you're not gonna see the completed board, because I am saving that for the announcement video next month, which means that, yeah, I'm really excited for it. I feel like it's time to do a revamp of Relax and Readathon and just have something different to it, so I'm really, really excited. Okay, let's work on that. I said I was going to go like 5 minutes ago, but that's just what happens. And then we'll get back to reading more of Emily Wilde. I'm really... I didn't realise how much time had passed with me creating the board game. It took me a lot longer than I thought. So the inspiration behind the board game is Candyland, just the idea of this really simple game. I didn't realise how long it was going to take. I was just in the zone, and it's now been like 2 hours. I've not read anything of my book. It's like 3 o'clock now. So I'm heating up the oven, so if you can hear background noise, that's why. I've got the oven heating up so I can start doing the shortbread, and I am going to get some serious reading done. I also do want to walk on my walking pad for like 45 minutes to an hour, and I'll do that while I'm reading. I've just got to decide, do I want to do that before? I might, yeah, I think I'll do that, because then I can work up a bit of an appetite maybe. Or do I do it after? You know what, we'll do it after the biscuits, because then I can have my biscuits and tea, read some of this, go on the walking pad, work up an appetite. I'll read while I'm on the walking pad. I actually quite like doing that, and it makes up for like not going outside today. Is like I go on the walking pad and then we can do dinner. But yeah, I was not expecting to spend so long. I'm really happy with it. The idea that I've got is like you're walking through this like forest that's a little bit magical is the idea, and then we've got lots of different prompts, and there'll be lifestyle prompts and stuff. It's not gonna have a start or an end. It's just you kind of choose where you want to start on the board, and then you just roll to see how you want to go, and that will be the thing. So I will still do it over the course of like 24 hours probably. I mean, some weekends, if I have the weekend free fully, then I will extend it into a full weekend, like Saturday, Sunday thing. But I just thought it would be more fun, more interactive. It will change things up a little bit. So I'm really pleased with how the boards are looking. It took me ages because I needed to decide on how the board was going to look. I had to decide on the color scheme and everything. And honestly, originally I just went in and I had no idea. I knew I wanted to create a board. I had no idea what I wanted it to look like, and it wasn't until I started getting like how I wanted the route to look that I then thought to myself, actually I need to decide on like what do I want to do with this. Went forest because like that's a nice one that we could change up with winter for like make it more winter festive themed. Also Halloween would just change out some of the stuff so they're a little bit creepier. Like I feel like it's an easy one to do things with. So the one I've done is be the base one, and then I'll do a slightly different one because the readathons always happen in October and December as well. So we'll have a slightly different one for October and a slightly different one for December, and then the rest of the year they'll all be the standard one that I've just made. I say that, I haven't even put in the prompts. I haven't even done that because it took me such a long time to decide how I wanted things to look, what things that I want on the board and all of that stuff, that I haven't even put in the prompts. And there's a lot of squares, so I feel like the prompts, oof, that could be a lot. I mean, a couple of them I'm repeating anyway, but yeah, we'll see. I think it's gonna take some more time, but I'm really pleased with how it's looking for now. Don't think I'll work on it more today. I might do it across like the next couple of days when I get a moment, just to put in the different prompts and things and decide how that's all gonna look. It's been on my mind for a while that I need to do that and making the time to do it, and it doesn't feel like it was proper work because it was something creative. I already said that bit, but I just need to decide because I don't have a printer anyway. I might go, there is like a print shop, so maybe I'll go and get them to print it for me on A4. I don't know how it's gonna look printed though. Like it looks really cute on the laptop, but I'm like, is it a bit too much? Will the colors translate well? I don't actually know. But I guess another thing that people could do is just do it as a digital game board, and that's actually so maybe I'll do that for myself, is just have it as something I can put on my laptop and just have a digital game board for it. Lots of thinking, lots of planning, but the oven is heating up. I need to get back to reading, so that was a unintentional non-reading update. Yeah, I feel like it was needed actually. I think having that break away from reading was needed because as much as I could sit here and read this whole book in one go, it's nice to have a break because it gives me time to like process what I've read, but also just a break away from reading. I feel ready to get back into it and maybe do like a couple of hours reading, and then I can check back in before we do dinner and see where we get up to. Okay, I'm really happy. Honestly, I'm so happy with the board, the way it looks. I hope people like it. I wanted it to be very relaxing and restful, and I honestly find like woodland forest, the color schemes and everything very relaxing. So hopefully people like it with some like few magical elements here and there. So yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of nervous because I've never ever created something like this before. I really do enjoy bingo boards, but bingo boards are now going to be for the seasonal reading challenges that I do on Patreon. So if you're ever interested in a seasonal reading challenge from me, they are bingo boards, and that's what we have on Patreon. And then we've got this game board for the relax and readathons. So yeah, I feel like this will be fun, and maybe if I like it and the reception to it is good, maybe I will look into doing other things. We'll see. It's a start of something. I'm really happy with it. I enjoy my bi-monthly readathons, but I feel like having an actual game board that I've created just, it's really fun. I'm really happy with it. Okay, right, that's enough waffling on from me. We've sat and spoke about that for a while, and honestly, I don't know, is it kind of frustrating that you don't get to see what I'm working on because I want to keep it a secret? But I'm really excited with the results of it so far. I think Discord will get an early sneak peek. Once I've put in all the prompts and things, I will put it on Discord to see what they think of it and to get their feedback if anything needs changing and things, like if they feel like actually we could add in this prompt, or maybe this is a little bit too much. You know, this is a readathon that is for you as well, so if you do want to take part in the discussion on that, That will be on Discord. Won't be until I've actually got the prompts on there, which I don't know when that'll be, but it will definitely be before the next Readathon announcement, which will be next month. But yeah, as I've gone on about, I'm sorry. But okay, let's get these biscuits cut. I've got little heart cutout ones that I'm thinking to do, so we're gonna do some little heart lemon shortbread, and I'm really hoping they come out okay. They don't take long, so I think once they're in the oven, we'll make myself a pot of tea and get to reading more of this. Oh, it's been a really good day. I'm very happy with the day that I've had. Now 6:15 and I have read a good chunk of Emily Wilde, which I'm really happy with. I also did finish off the lemon shortbread, and you know what, that came out pretty good. Very buttery, which was very nice. I think I would have preferred a stronger lemon flavour, so I think next time I would add in a bit more lemon juice to the recipe. That's just my personal preference. Like, I really like lemon, so I think the lemon flavour could have been a little bit stronger, but as it stands, for just buttery shortbread with a tiny hint of lemon, like, they're quite nice. So that was really nice. Also did my tea and everything, and I did walk on my walking pad for about 45 minutes, which was really good. And while I was sitting down having my tea, doing my walking and things, I have read up to page 181, so I'm now halfway through the book. I checked and I've got about 174 pages left of this book. We're up to the 13th of January. There's a lot going on in this one. There's a lot more in terms of like plotline and things. It's a little bit more plot forward than I think the first book is kind of what I'm comparing it to. The second book was kind of similar. I really like this because we get to see some of the other characters that we've met in the other books, which was really lovely. A good way to tie them back into the storyline just as we finish out the series, so I think that was really done well. And I also am really loving the footnotes. So as I was reading this time round, I noticed how a lot of the footnotes, it was giving me the vibes of Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, which if you've read that book, there are loads of footnotes in it, and the footnotes will range from like little things to big things, and it's the same in here. So the footnotes can sometimes be a little thing to say, oh, this is the book that I'm referencing, and sometimes they're bigger where they're actually stories and tales about folklore around the Fae and how those particular stories can relay something to the storyline that's actually going on. And I really, really like that. Writing technique that I really appreciate in books is it kind of adds more to the world. You're expanding a little bit more on that world building, and I think it just really, really works. So I love that. I'm having a really good time with those footnotes and having all of the stories and things. Like, that's a common thing, is that Emily Wilde will have something that she is focusing on and using research and the tales and folklore around Fae to solve a problem, and that's something that you've got in every single book. So I really like that we've still got that in here, that Emily is still doing her research She's in her little like hermit mode of research, and I really, really like that. I'm glad that we didn't lose that in the book, because at the start of this I was a bit concerned. I was like, oh, we're not going to get that, but we did, and I really, really appreciate that because it's just integral to who Emily is. She is a scholar. If we take that away, it's not really Emily as a character. Like, it's still character, but like the main part of her is her love of scholarly pursuits, and I love that we've still got that. So I'm really, really happy with that. I think the way this is going, it's going to tie up really nicely, and I think this series will come to a satisfying conclusion from the way things are going. So I'm really enjoying this. I am going to take a break now. I want to do some dinner. I've already put some pasta on, put some YouTube on, and just tidy up a little bit and have some food. And then I'm just deciding whether I will go straight back into reading after dinner, maybe read for an hour, then play some Animal Crossing, or if I'm going to take a break for a bit longer and play some Animal Crossing and then read before bed. I haven't quite decided which way around I want to do that yet, but I am really enjoying my time with this book. With the amount I've got left of this book, I think I've got about maybe just under 4 hours reading time to get through, which I probably am going to read maybe like another 100 pages of the book and then finish it out in the morning before I wrap up this video, because I do still technically for the full 24 hours have till 10:30 tomorrow morning. So I probably will end up spending my morning finishing this book, and then we'll finish out this video. That's what I'm thinking. We'll see. I could surprise myself and just end up staying up late to finish it, but I don't think so. I'm not the sort of person to stay up late. I'd rather get up early than stay up late. Maybe come in for one more update this evening and then leave it at that till the morning, I think is my plan. We'll see. I could change my mind. Who knows? But yeah, this day has been so needed. It's been so relaxing. It's been nice to just take a break and let myself relax. I'm feeling tired because of it, because I don't know if anyone else finds that, like if you're constantly doing things, constantly moving, getting things done, it's almost like you're too busy to be tired, and then it will hit you in the evening like, oh, we're tired. Whereas today I have felt relaxed tired majority of the day, but it's been nice. Like, I've really enjoyed this just chill, relaxing time. It's been lovely. But we do need to talk through the bingo board, because I haven't really spoken about it. Now, I haven't ticked off any of the reading prompts, and to be honest, I don't think I'm going to get to the short story one, because with taking the time out to do the game board and things, and you know, it's not like I've spent my whole day reading. I've stopped to do baking bits, I've stopped to tidy up, I've stopped to do the game board stuff and things like that. So I don't think I will be able to finish this and add in a short story, and to be honest, I do want to finish this for this video. As much as I can say, in the first reading vlog for February, so I think it'd be last week's, not the most recent one, but the one before that, I was talking about how I don't like rush reading a book, and that's true because I had work. It's different if I'm doing one of these readathons where I'm not doing any work, I'm not doing any YouTube work, I'm literally taking the day to relax and read, and I take breaks between reading. It's not like I'm sitting there and forcing myself to read for hours and hours upon end, and I'm taking my breaks and I'm thinking about what I'm reading because I'm updating you. It's kind of a weird one. It's kind of awkward to explain because technically it's the same. I'm reading a full book in a short amount of time, but it feels different because it's so much more relaxed. I don't know, it shouldn't make sense. I don't know if anyone else understands that, but it shouldn't make sense. But to me, it's just like, it's just the pressure of not having to do loads of other things. It gives me the time to be able to relax and read and enjoy it. Anyway, we was talking about the bingo board. I haven't ticked off any of the prompts for the bingo board, and I don't think I'm going to be completing that short story one at all across this readathon, which is fine. The lifestyle ones though, we have ticked off 3, which I'm very happy with. So we did do the ambiance, as you saw. I lit a candle, so that was setting the ambiance for me. I also have done a hot beverage. Again, as you saw, I did a nice pot of tea, which was lovely. We went for a jade dragon tea that we picked up yesterday, which was lovely. I really enjoyed that one. It was a nice light subtle flavour, but it was good. I liked that tea. Which I told my partner about it, and I was like, oh, this is a really nice tea and stuff, and he was like, what? You had that without me? And I was like, oh, well, yeah, because you're at work. But I had that was very nice. And I have done cozy hobbies because I've done the baking, I have been reading, so that also counts. And technically the game board can also count because that's an artistic thing, and I do count doing artsy things as cozy and relaxing, so I gonna say I completed that 3 times, which I'm pretty impressed with. Going outside one, again, we know that's not happening. So we've got 2 prompts on the bingo board which are not being fulfilled at all this time round, which is honestly surprising. Normally I can like stretch prompts out and things to cross things off, but today just haven't. And that's absolutely fine. Happy with the progress of the board. By tomorrow morning, we would have ticked off the 3 other prompts for the reading one. Right now, I am getting hungry, so I'm gonna start making dinner. Then just kind of decide. I think I probably will break up my evening with reading first for an hour, then playing Animal Crossing, and then going back to reading. And then I might do one last update. We'll see how tired I am before bed. Sometimes I do them. Sometimes I get too tired to do the updates. You'll find out, I guess. But right, okay, let's go. It's now just after 9 o'clock. I am about to have a bath, which I really am looking forward to. I feel like having a bath is a great way to just finish off the day, you know? And I have read a bit more. I'm now up to page 235, so I have 120 pages to go. And honestly, it was at this time that I was thinking about changing to Animal Crossing or something. And I can say, yeah, that's not happening. That's not happening, because what's just happened in this book, I'm sorry, but I need answers. Like, okay, Cosy Fantasy, it should end well. Like, that's what I'm expecting. But also, what are we doing? Are we really having this happen? I need answers. I need answers like right now. Like literally where I've just stopped reading, because my bath is ready and everything, so I'm gonna go in my bath, read in my bath. But where I stopped, it's like a cliffhanger. I did it to myself. There is a cliffhanger here, and I'm like, the problem is my bath is ready. I wanted to update as the last update of tonight, but like I need to know what's going on, and I know if I continue now, I'm just gonna finish the whole damn book. So Animal Crossing's not happening because I need to know what's going on. I am probably going to finish this book tonight, or at least read up to some sort of conclusion of what we just had, like something, because what is just going on? Like, no, I'm sorry, but I'm not having that. Like, what? That is unnecessary behavior going on right now that I need answers to. I'm very much sure it's all gonna end happily and stuff, because, you know, Cosy Fantasy, it's got to. That's the whole point of Cosy. If this was a darker fantasy, then I would expect this, I mean, I'd be devastated, but I'd be like, yeah, okay, that checks out with like high fantasy, dark fantasy and stuff. Sure, checks out. That's not the case. This is a cozy, light academia fantasy. We're not ending on this note. Like, I need answers, and I need answers now. So that's all I can give you. I can't give you anything else. That took a turn, so I will be finishing this book, and I won't be playing Animal Crossing. I can do that another day. I need my answers now. So that's where we're at. I had a nice dinner, just did some very basic pasta, meatballs, you know, easy stuff. Used up the last of my parma ham because it needed using up today. So, you know, it was just an easy meal. Nothing too fancy or frivolous, but it worked. And yeah, okay, currently we're gonna jump straight into this bath and read more of this book. I will update you in the morning. I'm not gonna update anymore today. To be honest, I was actually feeling really tired, and about half hour ago I was like, I could proper nap. And then I thought, you know what, let's have a bath instead. So I started running my bath, and then I read up to this chapter, and now I'm like, sleep? Who needs sleep? I need answers. Like, so that's what's happening. That is what's going on. I am really liking this book. It is really good. I think it's so well done. Like, all the things I've already said, like the world building is amazing. I love the different magical creatures and the fae, and like just how they're depicted, and how it really does tie into so much of folklore and folklore around the world. I really like how it's done that, because I haven't read loads around the world, like, don't get me wrong, I haven't read loads, but what I have read from other cultures and stuff, it does tie in quite nicely into this, and that's something I can really appreciate about this book. And then of course we add in the footnotes, how that adds to the world building, and you know, just everything about this is so good, and I'm really enjoying it. I love Emily Wilde, her mind. I just think it's amazing. I really like this book, and I do think that this is probably going to end up on my top books of the year, because I'm enjoying this a lot. Like, I've struggled up until, I mean, if you've been watching my reading vlogs, you know this, but I've struggled. I've DNF'd a lot of books. I was thinking about it yesterday or the other day. I was talking to my partner about it, and I have DNF'd quite a lot of books this year. I DNF'd 3 books in January, and I've DNF'd 2 or 3 in February already. I think it's just 2, actually. Yeah, 2. So that's 5 books already this year, which is quite a bit. Like, I'm not bothered about it, because at the end of the day, I'm a very firm believer of, like, DNF books. If you're not enjoying a book, put it down. One of the DNFs, maybe 2 of the DNFs is like a DNF for now, that I would get back to it. I just feel like I was reading it at the wrong time. That kind of happens. Like, I'm fine with it. Sometimes you're just not in the right mood to be reading those books. And even the book I'm reading currently for my weekly reading vlog, which you would have seen before this, like, the book itself is good. I'm just not in the right mood for that sort of book, where it's a bit too fast paced for me. And so I'm really enjoying taking a break and reading this. Like, I'm so happy I'm reading this. I think this is what I needed, because I started off, the first book I finished for the month was my reread of Veronica Speedwell, and I was so happy with that. I then read the 3rd one, and I really enjoyed it. It's just I read them too quickly, as I already briefly mentioned in this video, so we're not going to go back over it. Then having, like, I'm trying to pick up books. The next book I picked up was a DNF. The next book I pick up after that, I was, like, not wanting to DNF because it is a good book and the plot is good. I'm just not enjoying it for the mood that I'm in, for what I wanted to be reading. It was just too fast for me right now. I mean, I still need to finish it, and I will finish it, but it's just, I'm having to start with that book in a way that I wouldn't normally. So normally I like to read for an hour at a time, and that book I'm managing 15 to 20 minutes, and that's it. And then I'm having to change, because it's just, there's a lot going on in that book. It's interesting, it's well plotted, it's just, there's a lot going on. So definitely that's like I'm not 100% feeling it. I have picked up another book in the background, which I'm enjoying. But the things that I'm realizing I'm enjoying are just books with characters I already met. So, like, the books I've enjoyed most has been a reread and continuing the same series. The other book that I've been trying to read in the background this week, I've been loving, and it's a continuation of a series. This one is a continuation of a series. So clearly the month of February is to be reading characters that I love and continuing series and stuff, which is great. That's something I really need to do. It's something I really want to do this year. But I find it very comforting when you're reading about characters that you already know and love. I find it so nice to be able to go back to those characters, even if some of those storylines are a little bit darker. Not in this case. Potentially not in this case. It's still lovely to go back to those characters, and it's just like, it's comforting in that way. So okay, anyway, that was a tangent about nothing really. I literally only came on here to update, to say I'm not playing Animal Crossing. I'm going to continue this book because no, I need to know what's going on, and that I will update you in the morning. This will be the last one for today. Maybe editing me will cut out some of those waffles, because I'm pretty sure I've repeated myself throughout the day constantly, and now because I'm feeling tired, I'm like, let's repeat everything I've already said in this video. No, I'm gonna go, I'm gonna have my bath, I'm gonna read more of this book, and I'll see you in the morning. Good morning. It doesn't much look like morning time right now. It is so overcast and miserable, and I've got to go out in that to do some food shopping, which I really don't want to do, but I kind of need food. So, not the point of this update. The point of the update is to say I finished Emily Wilde's Compendium of Lost Tales. I actually finished it this morning. I was planning to finish it last night. As we know, there was so much going on, and I did read a bit more, which I was very glad I did do that. But then my partner came over and we watched the most recent episode of Solo Leveling that's out, and then by the time we'd done all that, I was exhausted. So I went straight to bed and then woke up this morning and finished it this morning at about, I started reading like just after 8 in the morning. conclusion. Loved it. This was so good, and I really like the way it tied up everything from the first two books. Like, it went back, it gave little odes to the different books, we got the different characters from the books, and I think it was really well done. I think this shows how an ending can be done so well, how you can really go back and include all the different elements in all the different books by doing it this way. Like, it felt really good. Like, I feel very happy with the ending of this book, because I do think sometimes in series there will be plot threads that can sometimes be just left behind, whereas in this book we did go back and kind of like retouch on the events in the previous two books, which I think worked really, really well. So I'm really happy with how this all wrapped up. It was a wild ride, I'm not gonna lie. From that update there were so many different things, like the previous update, there were so many different things that were happening. There were so many different things that I think were just unexpected, but it worked really well. I really did enjoy it. It was great. I think this was a very satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. Like, look, could I read more from Emily and like Wendell and just seeing what they're up to? Definitely, because I love these characters, but I think as a trilogy, the way it was done and wrapped up, I think just works really, really well. So I'm very, very happy with this. I think this was very good. It was a great book. I really enjoyed my time with this one. It was exactly what I needed to read, and I'm just so happy with it. And like, there was a little point which I forgot to mention in the last update about snails, and it was great because Emily was like getting scared of snails, and she's like, snails are not scary, but these ones are disturbing. And I just kind of loved it. And like, there were just little moments of little bits of humor in the book which I think worked really well with the story as well. And then seeing that relationship develop, seeing the different, that it was just so good. It was so good. It was so well done, and I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I'm so happy. Like, it's one of those bittersweet moments. Like, I'm sad it's finished, but I'm so happy with the ending of this book. I think this really shows how an ending can be done well, which I know I've already said, but I really do feel that way. However, reading this book has really made me want to read The Prisoner's Throne by Holly Black. Not because they're like similar, but just because there's fairies in both, and they're both kind of done on that more true to the actual folklore side of things, which I really appreciated. And so it's kind of making me go, I really want to read this. So I might try and do that soon. It was supposed to be on, was it my winter TBR, my January TBR? It's been on a few TBRs, which I just haven't got around to reading it yet. I think it was on January as well, and I really would like to get to that book at some point, because I'm feeling in the mood for fairy folklore in this kind of way, and The Prisoner's Throne also does it. Like, Holly Black has always done more traditional based fairies with it all being steeped in folklore, so like brownies and boggles and things like this, which you get in Emily Wilde as well. Point is to say, I finished this, I absolutely loved it, which does mean I get to tick off the 3 prompts that this was working for on my bingo board, which, as I've already mentioned, is a book on my TBR, a book I've been meaning to read for a while, and continuing a series. So I'm very happy with that. I didn't finish 2 of the prompts on this bingo board, as I already said I wouldn't be doing, and that's absolutely fine. Like, I don't mind. I had a great day, I really enjoyed it. I'm happy with all the different things that I did in my day, and how I really did just take a day to just relax and read. And now I need to get back into the grind. I've got videos to edit, I've got things to do, but very, very happy that I did take this just 24 hours to just slow down, have that. It was really, really needed. Like, I feel rested and ready to tackle all the to-do list things that I've got to do, and it was needed. It was really good. And thank you to everyone that was taking part in Discord. That was great to be able to chat with you all and see the different things that everyone's been up to, all the different books they've been reading. In general, I think I've had a great time. Loads of people that have been reading this book have really been enjoying it on Discord, and a lot of people have actually been reading the first and second book because they haven't read them, and it's been lovely just seeing them enjoy the series, discover the series, and it's wonderful. I'm so pleased. Like, I haven't heard any negative thoughts yet about this book. I'm so happy with, because I think this book is amazing. I love it. I think there were definitely some like sad moments in here and things, but it still ended in a really uplifting way, which I just think was so well handled. It's what you expect from a cozy fantasy, is it to end in that heartwarming way, and I just think Heather Fawcett really handled this well. I know Heather Fawcett's got a new book coming out, I think it's next year, and I'm pretty sure it's something to do with cats. Very excited, got my eye on that one, and I am intrigued to try some of their other works. Like, I know they've done some middle grade, which I don't really read middle grade books, but but I would be tempted to try for Heather Fawcett. And then we've also got like The Grace of Wild Things, which I think is potentially, is it their young adult book? I'm not sure. I would definitely try their young adult stuff. I feel like their middle grade stuff, I would see if I could get it from like Libby or something like that to try. Okay, well, that is the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you took part in everything, let me know. Thank you to everyone that takes the time to watch these videos, to comment, to interact in some way, and thank you to my Patreons. It's been absolutely amazing. I love chatting with you over there and just all the different things. Like, I'm really excited for all the things to come on Patreon, so if you are interested, I will have my Patreon link below if you'd like to check it out. And again, thank you to everyone over on Discord and just anyone that takes the time to support these videos. I really truly appreciate it. If you've made it this far, then you have to put a snail in the comments below if you've made it this far or you just don't know what to comment, because honestly, I love the snails. It was so much fun. But yes, so snail in the comment below if you've made it this far or you just don't know what you want to comment. If you have enjoyed this video, then please do consider giving it that thumbs up, subscribing and commenting. Those 3 things really help this channel out. My social media links and my Patreon will be linked below for you, and I will of course catch you in the very next video.